Ladies and gents, we officially have a Super Bowl champion, and the NFL season as we know it is officially done. For now, you already know it's Arthur Moats over here. Got the super dope, distinguished panel. I'm talking about the doctor in the building. Shout out to TaNeisha from @Really Flawed YouTube channel. And of course, the heavy hitter who might be in snow heaven with the Winter Olympics going on right now. But I'm talking about the WRAL Channel 5 producer in Raleigh, North Carolina, Mark Bergin, also in the building. How are my people doing, babe? We got a lot going on right now, man.
It is that time of the year where the football is over for a little bit. It's just done. It's just done. It's done. We came, we saw, we conquered, and here we are. Congratulations, everyone. We are there. We are in the moment where everyone starts going, how many more weekends until football? When is the first? So we're there. It is what it is. But I'm doing well. How are you, Mark?
Both of you know I enjoy my day-to-day life, and I try not to wish my life away. But I want to get to the combine and into the draft because to go this long without football, I am very sad. A lot of Steelers fans might be wondering why Pittsburgh didn't make more of an effort to go after Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold last night became the first quarterback ever to be on 5 different teams, first starter, and then go on to win a Super Bowl. So he made some history last night. It wasn't just him. Seattle, I thought, dominated the game. We'll get into it. But kind of a whelming Super Bowl, Arthur. I'm curious to get to your thoughts because I'm sure as a defensive player, you were loving every minute of it. But for the general public, I mean, a very forgettable Super Bowl when you talk about the on-play, just because the game was never really particularly close. It's definitely a defensive battle.
Yeah, for your boy over here, I loved it. Now, I tell people, man, I'm still new to this Super Bowl watching entertainment experience because for a long portion of my life, I was either not watching it because I was pissed that I wasn't in the game, or I just was pissed because, once again, I wasn't in the daggone game. So now this new space of we're just going to turn the TV on. I do not care who wins. I don't have a dog in any race, in any fight. I literally just sat back. I poured me a nice little something, had me some good food, and I literally just got to kick back and watch it. And of course, the pass rusher in me. Oh, come on now. The pass rusher in me watching that Seahawks D-line, and we knew coming in that was one of the advantages. Their D-line versus Patriots O-line. And it's funny how every year it always comes back to the trenches. I'm like, man, we just saw this matchup when it was Mahomes out there versus the Eagles. And we were like, man, Mahomes doing some really good stuff, but they can't protect him up front. Every time they try to go deep, he's getting smashed. Was that not the case again? So for me, I really enjoyed that. And then because I am the weirdo, I love Latin music also. So I was in this joint full on salsa party town going crazy at halftime with Bad Bunny, aka Bonito. So yeah, man, it was a great Super Bowl Sunday for me, man. So yeah, maybe I'm the outlier with that, but I was enjoying it though.
I've got some friends who have seen Bad Bunny in concert, and they said that the choreography was wonderful. The backup dancers, oh man, is a man who is single and 32 years old. Just wow. Having said all of this, though,
you had to be single to enjoy that?
No, not necessarily.
Oh,
I've had friends I was texting with on the text thread saying that last night's performance was pretty tame relative to how Bad Bunny typically performs. So take that how you will.
I could dig it, man.
I enjoyed it.
I could definitely dig it. Shoot, man, we can't start with the halftime show. No. We can't start with the halftime show. All right, we'll get to that later. Let's start with this daggone game, though. TaNeisha, talk to me. I know you watch Seahawks a lot this year. We obviously played them earlier this year. What were some of your immediate takeaways from their performance?
So my takeaways from the Seahawks was they just continue to get better every game, I felt like we watched them evolve all season. And I feel like they were just able to do everything right. And what I mean by that is Sam Darnold not having a turnover in the playoffs. Tremendous. From a quarterback, that's amazing. They ran the football. They passed the football. Their offensive line gave him a half a second of time that he needed. I just felt like the Seahawks did every single thing right. that they were supposed to do. And the other thing is too, they never overcomplicated things. It was just like they just stuck in there, and whatever it was what it was. And kudos to them. I feel like by like week 10 or 11, we were all kind of like, you know what? I think they're kind of decent. Like they're all right, So yeah, I mean, nothing they did last night surprised me. Kudos to them. And I also thought the game I loved the first half of the game because I thought it was like, it wasn't close, but it felt close. But the truth is, and I said this to a couple people last night, I'm like, this game was more entertaining than last year. Last year, after the first quarter, we knew the Eagles were going to win. Like it wasn't even. I mean, what was it? Wasn't it already like 21-0?
It was a blowout at halftime. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I appreciated the fact that I felt like the Seahawks just stayed true to who they were, and I love that. I love championship games when teams are still them, because sometimes that's not how it goes. Sometimes you're like, what was that? You guys haven't done that all year. Why are you doing that in this game? So yeah, shout out to the Seahawks. I thought they played great. They looked great.
Same for you, baby. Let's ride, Mark. What you got?
I think that Darnold missed a few throws as well. He missed JSN down the field. He missed Shaheed. And so I do credit the Patriots defense. I think New England's defense played really well, but offensively, when you don't score for the first 3 quarters of the game, the attrition component of the game comes into where defense gets stuck out on the field and eventually it wears down. To Seattle's credit defensively, I really thought that the Seahawks were able to get after Drake May with 4 rushers, and then on occasion they'd throw that blitz in there, and Witherspoon off the edge, the defensive back, was able to time up the blitz just perfectly when they would send him, and New England never really had an answer for that. Now, we thought that maybe New England didn't have the skill position players to compete at the highest of high levels, because if Denver had been fully healthy and Bo Nix had played, perhaps Denver gets in instead of New England. But it's like, to me, I'm looking at last night's game. Will Campbell at the left tackle position was just the number 4 overall pick. I get that he's a rookie playing in this game, but it's like the conversation, I think, in New England is going to quickly shift to, do the Patriots need to go get a left tackle and then bump Campbell inside the guard? Because it wasn't just this game with Campbell. I mean, Drake May was the most sacked quarterback who had played in a Super Bowl in league history. So perhaps as a young QB, he's 23 years old. He could have evaded or gotten rid of the ball earlier and been more decisive with the football. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, just offensively, New England could not do anything last night. So I credit Seattle and Seattle's defense, because really it was like the only way I really felt that the Patriots could have gotten back in it would have been with a turnover, to TaNeisha's point, or with some sort of special teams play, because the Patriots offense all night long, and really, if we're being honest, all playoffs long, just did not perform at the same level as we saw during the regular season, when Drake May was just a few votes away from being the NFL league MVP over Josh Allen.
Shout out to both of y'all. Look, this is the problem, man. We go all these days in between, and I miss y'all. All right. So then y'all get up here, y'all start talking, y'all start dropping all this heat, and I'm like, yo, I'm so excited. I just want to talk. So I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. TaNeisha, I'm gonna start with you. You hit it right on the head, man. Sam Darnold, postseason, 0 turnovers. In the regular season, he was one of the most highly turned over guys, right? Turned it over a lot. That's the difference, though. When you talk about getting hot at the right time, the commentator at one point said, man, it was very Joe Flacco-esque, right? In the sense of how he got into that postseason and it just clicked. Everything started hitting for him. That, to me, was the case, along with them playing their traditional old school style, right? Who were they feeding? The MVP, Kenneth Walker, right? That was the guy that really got that thing rolling. Defensively, we complained as Steelers fans about how basic Terrell Austin's scheme could be. But the thing that I've preached the whole time is, man, it is based on the players. Went up front with your pass rush, run basic zone coverage behind. Was that not what Seattle was running? Mark, you even hit it on the head, right? And they go sprinkle in that one blitz, the same blitz that they ran the whole time, right? Witherspoon off the weak side or off the strong side, him and the inside backer. That's it, right? But other than that, it was, I'm going to rush 4, and we're going to play zone coverage behind you, have eyes on this quarterback and break on the throws. When you play it the way that it's supposed to be played, execution-wise, you get those results. That was the beautiful part to me. The other thing that you hit, Mark, and I do agree, and I was late watching again. I'm like, yo, he's got to be a guard, bro. Will Campbell. This was part of, the complaint when they talked about the arm length. And some of that stuff, man, is valid. Some of it isn't valid. But when you see over a course of a season, the guy get beat with the same style of moves, the same style of soft corners, or not being able to anchor, when you see him literally getting pushed, booty falling on quarterbacks' legs, that's dangerous for quarterbacks, man. But that part, it had to get exposed. And I think that it was cool to see, for Seattle, it not just be one guy. And not just be DeMarcus Lawrence. It was like, all right, man, we can put Darnell Taylor in here. We'll put this guy in here. And it's like, okay, man, they clearly have identified that that's the weakness. In response, though, I would have liked to see the Patriots lean a little bit more on TreVeyon Henderson. I don't know why they didn't play through him more. That would have been my adjustment to it. But at the same time, man, when you get to the dance and this is how y'all have gotten there, you're going to lean on those things. You're going to feel confident. Why? Because, man, out of 17 games, it's worked in 14 of them, right? You talk about the postseason, it's like, man, it worked in a blizzard. It worked versus the Texans. Shoot, why would it work right here? So I get that part of it as well, but that would be my only critique for the Patriots offense. It's like, man, they, to me, didn't have an answer for TreVeyon Henderson, whether you're talking about throwing it to him out the backfield or him running the football. That's one of your most explosive players offensively. I just thought they should have leaned on that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, because I don't know. I mean, let's be real. Moats, we said in week 8, we were like, the Patriots are cheeks. We were like, I'm not worried about playing them ever again this year. I think my thing is this is like the stats versus wins versus what you actually see in a team with your eyes. Because if you've been watching the Patriots and actually watching what they put out on the field, last night didn't shock you because they've been putting that out on the field for a while. And if you go back to the games that they've won, they beat the Chargers because the Chargers offensive line, I don't know what they were doing at any point of that game. They lost to the Texans because CJ Stroud, bless his heart. I mean, so my point is like, whenever you're, and I'm not taking away their wins because I never take away a team's wins and I'm not taking away anything from them. But I think sometimes we just look at stats and win totals and we're like, they're good because of they win games. And it's like, that is true, but you have to watch the game. And that left side of that offensive line has been that way for, I don't know,
the whole 6-7
weeks.
Yeah.
it's like once people noticed it, it was like attack. It's just a lot of teams couldn't attack it. And that's why I always tell people, like, look at stats, that's fine. Look at record, that's fine. But we have to watch these games because if you watch everything that's going on, like nothing that happened last night would surprise you. And I believe, this is my own theory, I could be wrong or right. I believe coaches tell you what they think of their quarterback by how they dictate what those quarterbacks do. I have been watching the way that WRAL is managing Drake May in the playoffs. He's like, hey, you just don't lose it for us. Like, do some things, but don't do too much things. And it showed last night because every time he tried to do too much, I mean, well, we saw what happened. There was a fumble, there was the interception. And so I just think that sometimes, as one thing I've noticed this season is if you watch these teams, they're going to tell you who they are. You just have to watch them. Forget the stats. Watch them. Watch what they are doing. So the Patriots were the Patriots last night. I mean, it is what it is. Like that's how they've been playing.
No, facts. And the other thing is this too. For the Patriots, when they're not able to create those turnovers, also you see where they can struggle, where they can be effective. Mark, you hit on it also. Sam Darnold for sure missed on a couple of those throws. Gonzalez, heck of a job, right? Yeah. And that's the thing as a defender. We say, man, we don't care what took place, just make the play. But offensively, the coaching point is, hey, man, you got to lead them a little bit more. You put that ball out in front, whether you're talking any of those deep passes that Gonzalez made plays on, and it's a way different tune. The feel of the game feels drastically different also. But, Mark, now that we've talked a little bit of, Seahawks side of it, man, Patriots side, though, man, anything that you liked, anything that was like, man, I can see something right there.
Vrabel wins Coach of the Year because he takes a team that went from last place in the division a year ago under Gerard Mayo, 4-13, and now takes them to the Super Bowl. And the Patriots didn't lose a game this season. 7 points or fewer in all of their losses before last night. But I look at last night and it's like, okay, in the AFC Championship game, Bo Nix was out and they're playing in a blizzard. They're playing in the elements and snow. They're the beneficiary for the fact of, like, if you're playing, if you're 4-13 the year before, you're playing all the fourth place division winners in the other matchups that you have outside of your own division. So it's like, you mean to tell me that wasn't the case? I mean, like, if we talk about the people and the teams that are really kicking themselves this morning, I think there's a few. I think it's on the NFC side, the Rams, because I think the NFC Championship was the de facto Super Bowl. I think you think of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And then I honestly think the Houston Texans as well are in that
100%.
conversation too. Of like, it's like maybe this is just a year where the high end talent wasn't what it's been in previous years. But like, if you're Josh Allen, for example, all the quarterbacks that aren't elite level quarterbacks, Mahomes and Burrow and Jackson, that didn't make the playoffs this year, and it's like, this is the best that the AFC could put out there, because I really thought the game should have been even more out of hand if Darnold connects on a few more passes, like one or two more passes.
Yeah,
and we're talking about a much bigger blowout than 29-13. And like, I thought that New England's first touchdown, it's like, all right, maybe they'll get back in. But at that point in the game, again, because they hadn't scored in the first three quarters, it was like the deficit was just too great for how much time was left in the game and the limited possessions that both teams would have. So like, I really think New England's a beneficiary of having a really weak schedule this year. And look, win the games that you play in. You credit them. You credit Drake May and Mike Vrabel for making the Super Bowl. But last night it was like, and for me, I'm even wondering, like, okay, if the Rams had beaten the Seahawks, would the Rams have won the Super Bowl? Are there any other NFC teams in that mix as well, where it was like, I thought it was pretty drastic. And honestly, early on in the game, like, here's another thing too. It wasn't just some of the throws Darnold missed. Maybe you convert some of those field goals into touchdowns, but I don't fault Seattle for doing what it did and their head coach, because points were premium in last night's game.
Take those points.
Yeah. It was beautiful to see. I mean, in a world where everybody is go for it, take the chance. It was refreshing. I mean, heck, even watching the Patriots after they scored their first touchdown, and you hear the commentator, hey, if you go for 2 right here, maybe you can cut it 9. And then if you cut it this, and it's like, bro, no, like, as a football guy, I hate that talk personally, because it's like, okay, now you're going to be chasing it. And now we're just chasing and chasing it. We see it happen more times than not. You're chasing those points later on. And it's like, bro, if you don't take this daggone field goal, man, get these points, stay in the fight. So I liked that, kind of old school nature with it. But yeah, both of y'all are spot on though, man, with this, Patriots team. I mean, they did benefit from the, weaker schedule. They, were able to overcome certain things, but stay true to who they were. And that's why when we're watching that O-line get beat the way that it was versus the Seahawks, we all were like, yeah, man, that's not the surprise there. For me, though, I think my big thing was Mike Vrabel. I mean, when you talk about what that team was just a year ago, you literally have a lot of the same pieces there. I mean, you bring in Diggs, that's a big difference, right? Spillane different, but other than that, it's like, man, you still have a lot of the same pieces, Travion Henderson included, right? But to me, man, Vrabel, I thought his identity, I thought his toughness, I thought his belief in defense also, right? His willingness to say, man, we can win games with defense and not having you turn the ball over, versus when you're a young, or if you're an offensive minded guy, feeling like, man, let me show you guys I can cook with this quarterback. Let me prove to you guys, like, no, we don't need that right now. As a defender, as the archaic mind, for how I like my teams to be built, it was cool to see two teams that have very similar identities that believe defense matters more, and to just see those teams be able to thrive. Early on, though, in that first half, man, it wasn't this guarantee that Seattle was going to run away with it. Shoot, one of them, like 2 of them throws low key, like, hey, Darnold, man, be careful over here now, bro. That turnover could make this game really weird. Like, really, really weird. That was the cool cat and mouse game that I was seeing early on. And I thought that the Patriots were playing extra aggressive, trying to capitalize on that. Ding was, Sam Darnold was able to make a couple of plays, and Kenneth Walker, to me, saved Darnold early on, because it made it where he didn't have to beat them with his arm. Kenneth was able to, hey man, y'all gonna play like this? You better have who can stop this? Who can stop me? And that to me was the big difference early on. And then after that, Darnold has a couple throws. Game goes how it goes. But that's kind of my energy with this thing, though, man.
Yeah. You know, the other thing too, Mark, you said something about I think anybody from the NFC would have been able to probably take care of the Patriots. And I think it's just firepower alone. But the other thing I caught myself thinking last night was like, if this is the pinnacle of football, because it is, right? It's the Super Bowl. This is the pinnacle of the NFL. What are other teams missing? Because that's me. That's what happens when you're a researcher. You're always looking for the missing piece. And so as I was kind of looking through, I was like, what made the difference last night? I honestly think it was the half of a second, sometimes the 1 second that Sam Darnold was given that Drake May wasn't. And I also think that there were moments, even when Sam Darnold would miss guys, at least he was making a decision. Whereas I felt like Drake May wasn't making decisions. It was almost like I don't want to say start seeing ghosts or anything, but it was almost like he didn't trust the offensive line. So he thought he had to hurry. And it came down to like those half a second decisions. Like, is your line going to give you the half a second? Are you going to throw the ball? Like, because Drake May, I just felt like he just looked just out of whack. It just like there was no rhythm, there was no system, it just didn't flow. It almost looked, it was like a car stopping and going every time. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, are you okay? What is this? Like, what is going on? And I think it's just because he never felt stable behind that offensive line. It never quite felt good to me. When I was watching, I was like, oh, he looks panicked to me. Even his face looked panicked to me. But
that's
TaNeisha,
the difference in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm with TaNeisha though, because to add icing on the cake with that too. Let me piggyback off that. How much time did JSN miss in the second half as well, to where Seattle didn't even have its best offensive player out on the field, and they were still able to have complete control of the game.
No, without a doubt, man. And what I was saying was this, though. It's like, man, at the NFL level, it's a game of inches, right? And we say that all the time, and people overlook that, minimize it. And it's like, no, that's literally what you're talking about. The difference is a half a second. If you go to the combine and you run a 4.3 and you're a DB, you did great. If you run a 4.6, you're not getting drafted. We're literally talking about not a whole second. We're talking about tenths of a second. So when you're watching this game, Sam Darnold, you get an extra tenth of a second, you get to make that throw. You look a little bit more comfortable. Drake May, you don't get that extra tenth of a second. You look hurried. You look panicked. You don't look like you know what you're doing. It's literally that. It's just cool to see it, when it plays on the biggest scale, because it puts it right back in front of you in terms of how simple it is. When Drake May did have time, man, he was fine. But that's the name of the game. And in terms of, I know watching the game, it's easy to say that, man, any of these NFC teams could have beat that Patriots team. I personally don't agree. I think you would have had to have a D-line that could cook with just 4. Because Drake May, if you're going to blitz him repeatedly, eventually he's going to pick up on it, which he did in that third quarter. You saw him start to get rhythm. You saw that offense start to go. But the difference was, once again, that D-line started to pick it back up. And when you have a front 4 that can win like that, and you got guys on the back end that can hold up in coverage, that's the difference. Not every NFC team has that. As much as I would love to go there with you, not every NFC team is going to do that. Heck, we even saw on the AFC side, the highest paid defense couldn't even do that consistently. So I'm not about to act like any of these NFC teams are just going to do that. Seattle, they had been doing that all season, though. And we could also make a case that Patriots defense had been really productive also. But that was, my kind of takeaway, my kind of pushback with that. But yeah, it's like, man, I think this is more that Seahawks team. This is how they've been playing. And TaNeisha, you said they have gotten better. This doesn't look like the same team that we played. What was that, week 3, week 2, whatever it was? That doesn't feel like the same team I was watching last night. It was like, yo, that team is clicking a little different level than what we saw back then.
I would say the Rams. I would have to look at the rest of the NFC. But Arthur, you brought up the point about Kenneth Walker in his MVP performance. The Seattle split offensively between passing and rushing, 38 pass attempts, 32 rushes. New England's was way more lopsided, 43 pass attempts, only 18 rushes. So there you go in terms of the ability to run the football. And it's like we're looking at Sam Darnold a lot more favorably. He was 19 of 38 versus Drake May, who was 27 of 43. And I'm not trying to play the results, the results of
43
the actual
attempts?
games, but exactly. Your reaction, Arthur, is exactly the point that I'm trying to make.
That's 43 attempts for Drake May is a lot of attempts. You know how I feel about certain quarterbacks throwing the ball a lot of times. To me, he's in that category. I get the argument that people had for him. Actually, I don't get it personally, but I was told I was a hater. The whole he's the MVP, he was MVP finalist, he had MVP season. I watched a lot of the Patriots. Obviously, I know who my former employer was. So I have, reasons to be tapped in over there. I personally didn't see it, but I was viewed as a hater. And it's like, I understand it. But last night, I'm just like, if it's an MVP, when are you going to have that moment where we're like, okay, your team is letting you down, but you put that cape on. Your team might not do this, but you are sure that you a daggone son of a gun. Me personally, I never felt like I had that moment from. So that was another part of my little, but I do want to ask you both of the another question though, since in today's world where running backs aren't valued, in today's world where you can replace a running back with anybody. Who cares about a running back, man? This and that. And we literally see Kenneth Walker be the Super Bowl MVP, a key catalyst. I mean, we can make a case, another running back in the history of these most recent Super Bowls having some of the most impactful production offensively. But what's your thoughts on Kenneth Walker, man? What's your thoughts on this running back position as a whole and the importance of it right now?
I think it's a misnomer to act like the running back position doesn't matter, because they all matter. I think the issue is how much it matters and the impact on the game. And one of the reasons why I thought the Seahawks would win is because I thought that they were balanced. And I thought that if Sam Darnold played bad, they would be able to run the football. I think in football, you need balance. I think anybody who's acting like you don't need balance in football, and any football, NFL or college, you have to have balance. And I think that the problem is that some people mistake, like, we don't heavily only depend on running backs anymore, as if saying the running back position isn't important. And so it's almost like we're missing the message. Like, yes, we're passing the football more and more things are happening and offenses are more dynamic, but that does not mean that you don't need a running back. And so I think that sometimes we overcompensate, we overcorrect, and it's like, and like you said last night with them saying like, oh, maybe I should go for 2. It's like people are starting to put these little seeds of doubt in our mind, or little seeds of we don't need this. And then people start believing it. And it's like, I don't believe that to be true. You will always need a running back because it allows you to have a balanced football team. And that's just basic football 101. I don't understand. Now, do I want my running back making $40 million a year? Depending on the salary cap, probably not. But I still want a good running back. I don't understand why it's like we just like throw them away as if like we don't need them. You need them. You absolutely need them.
In the playoffs especially, I think they take on increasingly more importance because the sport's played with more physicality, more how it was, say, 20 years ago compared to 2026. I'm glad the voters finally got this right. I remember it was one of the Chiefs' back-to-back Super Bowls. Williams, Darren Williams. They had a running back a few years ago that absolutely should have won the MVP, but it's like, we'll just give it to Mahomes.
Hey, don't you just give it to Mahomes like that, man. It's the Patrick Mahomes. We're writing a story, okay? The storyline, it goes. You know this, Mark.
They finally got that right because defensively, if you would have wanted to give it to a Seahawks defensive player, I don't know how you would just pinpoint one. It was a great team effort. There were probably
you give it to the kicker.
Maybe. Yeah.
I love that.
Or the punter too. I thought Seattle's
Shout out to the punter. Hook 'em.
Shout out. Shout out to
the
special teams, man. Shout out to special teams. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm glad the voters finally got this right with Kenneth Walker. And Kenneth Walker taking on a bigger role with the injury to Charbonnet, because Walker, they do a good job of the split, but Walker, I thought, got better and better with the hot hand. We talk about quarterbacks getting into rhythm a lot of times. I really felt when Charbonnet went out, it was like Kenneth Walker's like, well, I can help carry the load, no problem. And he really, really showcased what he could do. And again, I go back to the splits that Seattle had, passing to rushing, but then Pull up the time of possession right now, too. I mean, Seattle, 33 minutes
Mark.
and 11 seconds. So they won.
Mark, I can't believe you made us wait 29 minutes and 50 seconds for you to bring up time of possession. Who are you, man? Don't you do this, Mark. Come on, man. Stick to what you do. You know you're a time possession guy, man.
Arthur, what I was trying to do is get it right at the 33-minute, 11-second mark. Right on
I see what
spot.
you did there.
But I could only filibuster for so long.
I love it, man. But shoot, with Kenneth Walker, though, for me, it was just cool to see him hit somebody else off the way that he hit us off. All right. Because I remember watching him step around and then put that foot on the gas and then get out of there. And I'm like, ooh, man, that sucks. He was kind of good. It was just refreshing to see him do that on the biggest stage. I was mad they called the last one back. Shout out to my dog, Robert Spillane. Oh, but man, I was like, yo, don't call that one back. At least he got the picture, though. You see the celebration. You got to get the celly for the picture. That's going to be up on his wall. I don't care what y'all say. That's going up on the wall. All right. But I just love that right there. And it wasn't even, a perfect performance, right? In the sense of, man, he's catching and all these other things. Because we know those were some of the limitations that he has. But I just thought that, like you said, Mark, his ability to get hotter as the game went on, that's one of the pros to not having to split carries, right? With no Charbonnet, it was like, man, you're going to get the lion's share of this. So with that, you're going to get into more of a rhythm. I mean, you could see how comfortable he was to when they were bringing up, and shout out to my dog getting his name dropped at the Super Bowl. They say, yo, he looks like L. Bell. I was like, man, you know how comfortable, you know how much of in a groove and in a zone you got to be to really be able to like matrix slow that thing down. And then, all right, let me get up. Like, that was beautiful to see. I was just like smiling watching the game. And I'm like, yo, it just felt like for me, like an old school, like, man, I'm getting running the football. I'm seeing a fullback out there. I'm getting D-line whooping butt. I'm getting special teams action, all these kicks, center cut. Oh, it was just like, yo, I'm in heaven. Yeah. This is what I needed. So, yeah, man. But I do feel like, though, the running backs don't matter, though. I think they're making a strong case, man. When you think about what Saquon did last year, you think about what we're talking about with Kenneth Walker, and it's like, man, how much do they value? How much are they worth? It's like, man, they're clearly showing you that they can help you win Super Bowls, not be a part of it, help you be the reason why. And I think it's something that we, league-wide, maybe open your eyes up to it a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder who started that crap about the running back.
Well, like, I think a lot of it has to do with
it was
value.
The L. Bell, Ty Gurley. Yeah. It was the L. Bell, Ty Gurley. What's the boy out in Arizona? Oh my goodness. Johnson, David Johnson. Like it was those big three that got the checks, and then it was.
It just went downhill. Yeah.
And but that was like the 40 million type money, though. Like,
right. I think that is the conversation. Yeah. It's like, do you pay them 40 million a year? No, I don't agree with that.
It was like
but
an extreme.
I think you do. Yeah, but I think you need a good one. I do think you need a good one. And I think if you can get two good ones, you're even better off. You just need that consistency, but you have to be able to run the football. Full stop. I mean, I don't understand why we ever acted like you didn't need a running back. Like you do. You just don't need to pay them like being one of the highest 3 paid players on your football team. I think that is where it goes wrong. Dallas Cowboys anyways.
That or the draft capital in the first round. I mean, you really have to be a truly, truly special talent to say you're like Saquon-esque or a Bijan-esque.
But time out.
That's an interesting one.
When was Kenneth Walker drafted?
I'd have to. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that, Arthur. Please answer.
Should be second round if I remember correctly. I'm about to say I'm gonna pull it up, but I want to make sure I got the exact.
Not first round is my point.
But what my point is this: he was the 41st overall pick. The way that people communicate about running backs and the way that it's talked about in the sense of like you don't use early draft capital, is references if you take them in the 4th round earliest case, and it's like no. Travion Henderson, that's a first round running back. These aren't slappies. These aren't dudes that are, all right, man, we just picked them up whenever. No, that is a high. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson. These aren't run-of-the-mill guys. James Cook, Derrick Henry. These aren't run-of-the-mill guys. So why is it that we just believe that any run-of-the-mill can equate to that level of production? It is like we don't look at quarterbacks and expect 4th and 6th round quarterbacks to be able to do what the first rounders do. So why is it with running backs we expect that? That's my only disconnect.
Somebody put that out there, and it's just a running It's just a running thing. I don't know who's responsible. I don't know. It's just like enough people said it, and so people started believing it. I don't understand where it came from. I also too, when you look at just the playoffs as a whole, I feel like the playoffs as a whole, I was constantly seeing running backs have their moments. I was constantly seeing them move the chains, and like I always say, a good running game moves the clock. If you're winning, you want the clock to run out. Like, we need to run the clock. We need to control this game. How do you do that? You run the football effectively. It is like, it's going to keep the clock moving. And I think at some point, I think it was like the second drive of this game or the third drive of this game, Seattle came out and they passed the ball 3 times. I about came unglued. I'm like, guys, we're not going to do this. Let's not do this. Like, this is not the formula, and it's like, I don't know what has happened to the run game or running backs. I don't understand that mentality of why people are going away from it, because we've seen it work all playoffs. Like we've seen it work. I mean, I don't even know. And maybe too, what we're really saying is, as the weather starts to get colder, as the weather starts to get uglier, and as just things start to happen, the one thing everybody says as soon as the weather's bad, well, everyone's going to run the football. It's like the default thing. And we saw a lot of bad weather games in the playoffs, and they turned around and handed that football off, because you can't throw. You can, but it's harder. So, it's interesting that we've started that dialogue. I don't know if it's going to go away, but whoever started it, shame on you. That is
Mark,
not
did you
a
start?
good message.
Mark, was that you? Did you start this?
They're undervalued. Well, no, because it was a few years ago in the Super Bowl where the running back should have been the MVP. But like, look, you forgot Jahmyr Gibbs too, by the way, in terms of first rounder.
James White could have had one back when he was with the Patriots when they did it. About to say, come on now.
Other first round running backs: G&T, Hampton this past year, Bijan, Gibbs, Najee, Travis Etienne, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Josh Jacobs, Saquon, Rashad Penny, Sony Michel. So like, it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, it's not all home runs. But do we think that I think they're undervalued. I'm with TaNeisha, where it's like 40 million. No, but to say that like, 10 million's the most per year a running back could make, it's probably low. Like, look, if you're getting like Christian McCaffrey's his own beast when he's healthy, I'd say the same thing about Derrick Henry.
How much does he make a year? Do you know off the top of
CMC?
It was like 19-20 million, I thought. It's like in that range.
I got you. Good.
Okay, because
we're gonna get IT on this here.
Get us right, Mark. Get us right.
I think that's the thing. Is like, okay, if Christian McCaffrey is whatever he is, and I think that's fair. Him and Saquon, like, cool, whatever they're at. But I don't think anybody should be paid more than them. I think.
But see, I think that's hard to say, because, we don't pay based on what you've already done. It's like the projection. Like, I can see Bijan with his next deal being the new set. I look at that as like, yo, you should set it, even though he hasn't had, but he hasn't had the season that McCaffrey or Saquon has technically had just yet. But that to me is how I view like the next wave of it. And I think that's where it gets kind of weird when we started talking about like how we pay these dudes, is because we don't pay them based on like the previous. It's always the projection.
Yeah. Well, and two, I think team matters.
Yes.
Because I think, I mean, no disrespect to whatever the Falcons have going on right now. I'll just leave it at that. I think that sometimes the way that you structure your team depends on this a lot. Like, that's that business aspect that we just often just don't talk about, because it's like, I mean, the Steelers, we historically have paid a ton of money in our defense, and our offense doesn't get as much money, and not everybody is built that way. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but I think that it really just depends on who else is getting paid, who else is making this money, because to not pay a running back, I don't understand that. But, did you get the number, Mark?
Yeah, it's amazing, Arthur. So the money's split up a little bit differently year to year, but the average annual salary is 19 a year. Arthur's literally hit it right on the head. I love how you knew the exact figure, Arthur. It's amazing.
Look, I don't even pocket watch it. I don't even know why I stuck in my head. I'm just like, I remember that number though. It was like, but it's McCaffrey. It's McCaffrey, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate the number. It's McCaffrey.
Honestly, for everything he does, both running and catching the ball, so long as
man.
The only argument I'd have against that would be injuries, and exactly. So like, honestly, that was part of it too, because with running backs, 30 is considered ancient now. Like if you play
Mhm.
past 30, it's like that's like Rodgers playing at the age of 42, the quarterback position.
Yeah.
That and turnovers, fumbles, because that's the other thing that can deter. Because
Yeah.
that's Bijan's biggest problem right now is he's phenomenal. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end of the game, they can't even play him because they're like, bro, like we can't trust you right now.
Yeah.
You've proven that we can't trust you right now.
Running
And
backs
so-
fumbling or like quarterbacks
Yeah.
and their interceptions, 1,000%. Like you got, and I think the difference though is like we view that quarterback's interception as, man, we can work on your decision making. Some of these running backs is like, bro, you got to just physically be able to hold this ball. And
Hold the
if
ball.
you physically can't do this, like there isn't another alternative. And I think that that's kind of also why we view those positions a little bit differently too, of like,
Mhm.
hey man, I can stomach this interception. I can't that you put that fumble on. Oh Lord, that hurt my heart.
But shout out to Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl
Yeah.
MVP. We'll go down in
love
history, you
that.
know.
Yeah.
That's major right there, man. I love it, man. And we're not talking Hall of Fame, but on the hills of a Hall of Fame, we did see a running back, Roger Craig, also get in, man. Dual threat dude. That is also dope, man. To just keep the running backs alive, all right? Keep the running backs alive. As a former pop water toting that pill, okay? All right? As a young kid out there with the day going, oh, I ain't even about to do it, okay? But y'all already know, okay? Y'all already know. Tote the rock, all right? Running backs
What if
back.
they're making a comeback? What if
I'm
this
hoping
is the
so.
upswing? Yeah,
I
because
hope
you know
so.
how life works. It's like,
I hope so.
it's just ebbs and flows. But yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like last year Saquon put him back on the map. And
Come on,
since
man.
then, it's only, yeah.
I mean, shoot,
love that.
Saquon put it back on the map. We also had somebody, come back and do something special too this year. We're going to get to those NFL liners in a second. But before we leave the Super Bowl, I officially got to talk to y'all, and we got to now see how y'all felt about Bonito. How were y'all feeling, man? Huh?
I love that. I'm going to say this, and everything doesn't have to be for everybody. And I think we have to get out of this thing that everything happens in life is supposed to be for us. Okay. I did not understand a single word that was said during the performance. And you know what? That's okay. They looked like they were having a great time. It looked like they were just like, it was like a block party. They were in their neighborhood doing their thing. I love that for them. And it was fun. And I like at some point I was like, oh, what is this? What's he saying? Like, should I be? I don't know what this is. Like, I think I like it. Like, this is a great beat. The performers were great. Lady Gaga showing up. Like, I always say this. I love when people are happy and having a good time. And he looked like he was having a really great time. And it was what it was. I mean, if you don't like certain things, you know what? You don't have to watch it. You actually can turn the TV. You can just not watch it. And so I shout out to the NFL for allowing that to happen. I thought that was tremendous. And I'm good for them. I thought it was fun. It was exciting. I still don't know a single word that was said. And that's okay. And I loved the flags coming out at the end. I thought that was actually really cool. And also, the last thing I'll say about this is I was actually really impressed that Bad Bunny remembered all of the names of those countries that he was supposed to say at the end of the performance. I thought this morning I would wake up to like, you forgot about us, like, something about a country. He nailed it. I'm like, wow. I was impressed that he remembered to say every single one of them. That was impressive to me. But anyways, those are my thoughts.
I've got two.
What you got, Mark?
I've got two
Okay,
things.
talk to me.
First of all, I would sacrifice this episode's salary just to be a fly on the wall in the Moats household while that performance was going on. Man, just seeing your enthusiasm this morning, it is contagious, Arthur. So thank you for that. Secondly, I got to admit, the Super Bowl party I was at, we had wings, we had some baked feta pasta. I was popping around the kitchen a little bit too. It's like, why not? This is fun. So, yeah, I mean, like I already told you my thoughts right off the top of this show. Was I entertained? The answer is yes. I was entertained. It's the greatest Super Bowl halftime performance. No, probably not. We can get into a whole discussion about that if we want to, but it's just like, was I entertained? Yeah. The weather looked beautiful. Like I thought that Levi Stadium was great placed. I mean, like even before the game, it was like, man, it's like it's frigid cold where I'm at, North Carolina. It just looked quintessential, looked beautiful out in California. So I was entertained by it, and I'll end there.
No, absolutely, man. I'm with you guys 100%. As a person that woke up in Pittsburgh and it was -2 degrees at 8 o'clock this morning, yeah, man, I for sure enjoyed everything that was on that screen, man. Last night watching Bad Bunny, man. I thought the setup was fire. I thought it looked like, man, I'm in Mexico, or I'm in Puerto Rico, or I was in Brazil, I was in some, Latin country, and it just looked authentic. It was cool also seeing, like you said, Lady Gaga in there, Cardi B being in there. It was cool to just see, like, oh man, that's such and such, and just his confidence. Man, I was thinking to myself, trying to, all right, don't overanalyze it, but I overanalyze. I'm like, man, I could not imagine I'm in another country and I got to perform at one of the biggest venues, biggest stages, and nobody in here knows my language. But with confidence, I'm going to rock this joint. And I swear, like that, I was like, yo, when he climbed up the little light pole and I'm like, yo, he in his zone right now, man. Like it was fire. And I also, like, for me, my favorite part was the end with the flags. And it was more so because it was some nostalgia with it. Because my daughter, my oldest one, is in college right now. She loved the movie Rio, right? The little bird in Brazil. It's about Carnival and all that, right? Well, in the movie, man, it's about how they be vibing, how they be celebrating, how it's always a turn up, right? And watching at the end, man, with the drums and the flags, it looked just like that. And I'm just like, man, baby girl was so from concert. I'm like, oh man, you know what, man, this is how it's supposed to be right here. But I absolutely loved it, man. And like I said, in my mind, I'm a full-on Spanish speaking, even though I can't speak a lick of it, all right? But in my mind, that's what I be on. So yeah, Mark, you would have been vibing, all right? We was in here sweating, okay? You would have been vibing with me, for sure, all right?
Yeah, I wish the NFL, there's two things I wish. Mother Nature, I wish it would have been dark. Because I thought I think it would have looked even better if it would have been dark, because all the lights and the things that were happening in the stands. But the other thing is, I wish we would have known the name of the song, so that like when it was over, we could like try to go back and see, like, okay, what was that song? Like what song was he singing? What was that? That was the only thing where I was like, I wish that we just would have known what song it was.
Put like a little graphic up there. Yeah.
Something. At some point I could just go back and understand, like, I mean, listen, okay, I was singing Ludacris when I was a child. So it doesn't matter what he was saying. It was still a vibe. But I'm like just curious to know, like, what was he saying? But I can't find it because the NFL's not telling me. So it was the only thing where I was like, can we just like label the song so we know, like, or give me a song track list or something so that we can like reference check or something, like. But no, that didn't happen.
Do you know how I know this was a success, though, in all seriousness? The fact that when have we ever had such a spirited discussion where none of the three of us fully understood everything that happened there? I'm not a native Spanish speaker either. But I know it's a success because we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Facts.
And we want more. We want to know more.
No, seriously, yeah. Like more information, please. And TaNeisha, I'm glad you brought this up too when you said, man, shout out to the NFL for, bringing in a Bad Bunny. I just think as a whole, man, the diversity that we're seeing with these different performers, like, it is cool to me, man, as a dude who has a very, I like to say, diverse music palette, right? I listen to a ton of music, man, in a ton of genres, and I really love it. Even if I don't always understand everything that is being said, I still can just appreciate the process, man. And it was just cool to see, man, how a year ago you could have a Kendrick Lamar up there where it's heavy rap bases, heavy West Coast bases, heavy hip hop culture. And then you come all the way this year where it's Bad Bunny, full on Latino, full on, Spanish, and just that culture. And both shows, to me, I'm able to pull something from it. I'm like, yo, that was dope. That was dope. Like, I just like that right there, man. To me, it's not boring. And that's, just as a guy that is a consumer at this stage now, I enjoy just, let me just not be bored. Can I just be entertained for this 3-hour window, man? And that's what I was able to get yesterday.
Yeah. And it's also cool to, like, I love when people are like just themselves. I like that he didn't change who he was to make it make sense for us. He was who he was because that is who he is. And I love that. Like, I wish, like, just be you, whatever that is, just do that and let us enjoy it. And it's artistry and it's art. And I just respect people's crafts. Because he was like in his element. That was his thing. Even when he brought out the little kid and gave the little kid the Grammy, again, I have no idea what's being said. I'm thinking he's saying certain things that he's probably not saying.
It was like Joe Green giving away the jersey for the coat.
Right.
That's what it was like,
but
man.
Then, yeah. And then like them watching him. Anyway, there was just like so many like little things. And now I've like researched, and I'm not getting political on this conversation at all, but now I've researched who the kid was and all those things. But I think that sometimes just those little pieces that make you go, why? Okay, what happened with that? Oh, okay. I see the connection. I see how that's happening. I just thought it was amazing. And I like that Lady Gaga also didn't sing in English. Like, I like that she stayed true to the performance. And that was amazing. That because she could have been like, no, I'm going to do it this way. No, she stayed true to everything that was happening. And I love that because that's just respect. Like, how are we doing this? Great. Let's do it. This is your show. I'm showing up to your show. So you let me know what you need me to do. And that's what I'll do for you.
No, salute right there, man. I definitely like that. All right, well, final thing on the Super Bowl. Did y'all have a favorite commercial?
Yes.
All right, I know.
Yes.
Okay, I'm about to say, can we get to the commercial? Let's talk.
And it was a positive message to the Bruce Arians tight end commercial to get screened for prostate cancer. You can laugh. It was hilarious.
Yes.
It was very well done. It took both a comedic approach. It has a message that is very, very important. 3 of my 4 grandparents had some form of cancer. I thought that was by far and away, that one stuck out to me because it was really, really funny, but I thought it had a great message to where if you're of a certain age and know men who, as they get older, check with your doctor if you need to get screened for prostate cancer. That was by far and away my favorite one. And I thought it was hilarious too. It's just no notes, perfect execution. I rarely say anything's a 10 out of 10. That commercial was a 10 out of 10.
Let's go. What about you, TaNeisha?
You know, I'll be honest. I didn't really have a favorite this year. That, I mean, in retrospect, I think that was the messaging was good. But this year I did a lot of finagling during commercials. Like I was busy. I was like, oh, it's a commercial. Okay, let me go take care of this real quick. So I wasn't really like as clued in to what was happening, but I will be honest. I saw a lot of commercials before the Super Bowl because they're starting to leak. So part of me was kind of like, I think I saw at least 20 or 30 commercials before the Super Bowl even happened. So at this point, I don't even remember what I saw during the Super Bowl versus what I saw before the Super Bowl, because I'm like, oh yeah, one commercial was it? I don't remember what it was advertising. I was like, oh, I've already seen this. I literally just got up and like did the thing that I was going to have to do. And I don't like that. I wish they would stop releasing commercials early. I don't know why they started doing that. I don't know who told them they should do that. They tease it. Don't release the whole commercial. Sorry. Now I'm frustrated.
And look, you know how it is. We got to get our eyes. We got to get in front of your eyes before the other person, man. So Elite can make it work, man, and all these other things. Shout out though, man. What I'll say is this. I do love the tight end commercial. I thought it was funny, especially the characters that were in the tight end commercial. I was like, oh, all right. That was interesting when they include him. But I like it as a whole, man. It was a vibe. The other thing though, man, another commercial that did kind of stand out. And I don't even like, it stood out so much I had to even go like look to see what the heck they were talking about. It's a chick walking with a banana. And she's like, yo, man, this is my banana. And we're like, bro, what the heck is this? When she was walking like, hey, what if your banana can stop person from 60 feet? Huh? What if you got this such in the banana, you can just pull it out and it's going to protect you? Hey, what if it's banana? I'm like, bro, what the heck is this? I'm like, yo, I was so lost, right? And then I actually went and looked up. I'm like, oh, it's like some type of like taser gun, non-lethal, like, oh, it's like, yo, this, but the banana was like how she was saying, but it caught because I was really like, why is this chick just walking, talking about a freaking banana and she's not eating the banana, but it's like the banana's open. Hey, it was so weird. But I thought that was like genius in terms of the style of it, how casual it was, and then to actually be like, oh, like, wow, all right. Yeah. Excellent job, excellent execution. But my personal favorite though, it's the Budweiser commercial.
Let's go!
Had the Clydesdale, had the eagle on the back, little free bird playing litter skin. Oh, come on now.
Oh, those Arthur, I'm so happy right now.
Oh, that touched my heart. It hit my soul. Oh.
That's amazing.
That was the one for me though. That was the one.
Free bird, the small bird with the horse on the back. That was the best. That, and then at first I was just like, how did they morph into one? Because you see the horse with the eagle wings, and the eagle comes flying off the horse. Oh, man.
Loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. So that was mine right there, man, for sure. All right. So now that we are on the back end of this thing, man, now we get to talk a little of the real stuff, have a little fun. Because we did have some NFL honors, some NFL award winners, and I'm going to list them, all right? And from there, we will, start with the big dog, right? But obviously, man, we know the league MVP for this past season was Matt Stafford. Man, shout out to him. Offensive Player of the Year went to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Amazing season for Defensive Player of the Year. He is now a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Myles Garrett won by unanimous vote also. Let's make sure we make note of that. We had the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and shout out to his mother, Tetairoa McMillan. Make sure I pronounce that right. All right. Then Defensive Rookie of the Year over in Cleveland, Carson Schwarzenegger. After that, our Comeback Player of the Year was Christian McCaffrey. Walter Payton Man of the Year. Shout out to the good guys out there in the community. Bobby Wagner. And then, of course, the Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel. So, starting at the MVP, let's get right to it. How do we feel about Matt Stafford becoming the oldest quarterback to win the MVP award?
I wasn't mad. I thought he had a great season. The only thing I felt like towards the end of the season, he kind of was struggling a little bit, but I think that's fine. Because of the options, I definitely think he should have gotten it. And I think that was fine. That wasn't the award that I was the most frustrated about. Okay. But shout out to Matthew Stafford.
I was fine with Stafford because he led the league in passing yards and touchdown passes. And I know that his team lost in the conference championship game, but you could say revisionist history or hindsight 2020 if they had given it to Drake May after how he performed, not just last night, but in the playoffs as well. I get that it's a regular season award, but I think the league got it right when you look at how things played out in the playoffs.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I don't love the winner. I had a different person that I thought should have won it that wore blue and red, and not that Patriots blue and red either. But I digress, okay? I digress because if not him, then thank you, Matthew Stafford. I can appreciate Matt Stafford winning it, man. And it just checks off another box in his crazy storyline when you think about everything that was going on in Detroit, playing with the back situation, man, the struggles over there. It just adds to this beautiful ending or second half to his career, man. So I like that one, man. Now, TaNeisha, you said that wasn't the one that kind of had you, perturbed. Let's jump to that one then. What was the one that kind of had you going?
Trevor Lawrence should have won Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, do tell.
I feel like his improvement from last year to this year, and being in the South, I watch a ton of Jaguar football, whether I want to or not. It's just on. And I thought he played, I don't know. I just thought this year he looked like a completely different quarterback to me. I mean, he managed the game well. He, at one point, I don't know if he finished the season this way. At one point, he was leading the team in rushing yards. He was leading the team in touch. He had a great season. And I don't know. Again, I'm biased sometimes. I'm like, are you watching these games? Trevor Lawrence last year and Trevor Lawrence this year, he was, the way he had control of that offense as well. I think his numbers compared to last year to this year. Last year he had 2,500 yards or something like that. He had 4,000 yards this year. Yeah. I just thought he had a great year. I get it. Give it to Christian McCaffrey. But in my mind, I was like, man, this would be a good award for Trevor Lawrence. I was just anyways, whatever.
So shout out to you. I was going to just bring up the category, right? In terms of the finalists, it was Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott. Mark, I don't know how you feel about it. I was going to jump in real quick. You said Trevor Lawrence. I was upset because I thought it should have been Dak. Dak gave me 4,530 touchdowns and 10 picks this year. Dak
That's good too.
Balling. I thought that it should have been him. I was a little bit frustrated that they didn't go Dak, but McCaffrey also had a crazy season.
Yeah.
But Trevor for sure was balling. Trevor, like you said, at one point he was their best passer and rusher, and it was with a mixed use, right? A mixed use group. It wasn't Travis Hunter. It wasn't Brian Thomas. It became, all right, we're going to trade for my man Jacoby Myers. And then I forgot the other cat they had. And it was like, okay, they making something shake over here. But I'm with you. I do like that Trevor part, but Dak would have been my guy. How about you, Mark? How you feel about it?
I think the logic and the argument is like fantasy football oriented. And here's what I mean by this is like JSN had such a prolific year. You had to give him offensive player of the year, but it's like, wait a second, like CMC also played out of his mind as well. So you can't give both of those players one award. So it's like, let's just throw CMC and comeback player of the year. We'll give JSN offensive player of the year because JSN doesn't qualify for comeback player of the year, and we'll call it a wash. That's how I think it played out. And I think both of you have very fair and legitimate arguments when it comes to whether it's Lawrence or Dak for comeback player of the year. That's kind of how I foresee that of both CMC and JSN's had such prolific years. You couldn't neglect one and not give hardware to both of them because they're both also very deserving.
Yeah, now that's real right there, man.
Well, Moats, I'm very disappointed because there was a new award added this year. And you didn't mention it.
You're right.
Okay. And shout out to the freaking offensive line. Okay. Because they
Protector of the Year award. There it is.
Everybody knows my take. What I think the offensive line is the most important group in football. I think they get no credit for anything. Nobody really knows what those guys go through. Nobody really knows what they do. They are always, I feel like you cannot do anything without an offensive line. We've seen that now in 2 consecutive Super Bowls at this point, where it's like the offensive line just weren't doing anything and it dictated the game. So Protector of the Year is my new favorite award because I feel like those guys in the trenches get no love at all. And all they do is set the tone for their team and protect their money guy and their quarterback, and they do their jobs exceptionally well. So I needed to have a moment where I shouted out those guys. Those offensive linemen deserve more. They deserve better. And I love that they added this award too, because it's like, now people will talk about them and see them. They'll be up there, right? Like they have their own thing. And I just love that. So anyways, that's how I feel.
Shout out to you for bringing it up. But this is the funny part. NFL.com don't even include it. They got assistant AP Coach of the Year up here, AP Coach of the Year, AP Comeback Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and AP Most Valuable Player. I'm just pulling it up the list. Yes, they ain't even included. I'm just letting you know.
Yep. The one I've got, Arthur, you got to scroll down.
I'm about to say, because, I'm on one right now. Yeah, which one you got, man? Read yours off, though, man.
Chicago Bears. Joe Tooney, Chicago Bears.
Talk, baby.
We haven't even named the person who won it. So it's like, all right. Shout out to the big guys up front.
Do better, NFL. Do better.
You got to scroll.
No. You know they got multiple articles over here, but for sure, the one I'm on right now, it's like, yes, bro. All the way to the bottom, they got extra write-ups. I'm looking about Vic Fangio. I'm like, yo, we really gonna talk Vic Fangio right here?
Wow.
I'm all the way down to, hey, man, yeah, I'm getting all this. This is nice info. But yeah, so shout out to the O-line though, man.
Can I have my bone to pick, or do we want to stay on offensive line first?
No. Go for it. What you got? What you got?
Right. I'm fine with Mike Vrabel winning Coach of the Year. That's fine. Worst to first, Patriots, whatever. They're just in the Super Bowl. I get it. What's the other thing? If you close your eyes and you think about what the 2025 season was all about, Ben Johnson getting only one Coach of the Year vote.
Yeah,
he finished in 4th place. You want to add fuel to the Bears' fire for the 2026 season? One vote for Ben Johnson for Coach of the Year. I'm not even going to say I'm sorry. That is ridiculous.
Can you tell me what the other options were?
Vrabel, Mike McDonald.
Okay, and then who was the third?
I got you right quick. Hold on 1 second. All right, so it was Liam Cohen. You had Liam Cohen down in Jacksonville. Go, all right, TaNeisha did. Your Jacksonville people, okay. Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan with the Niners, and then obviously Mike Vrabel. Heck of a group.
It is.
Heck of a group.
It is. But
I
if you
do agree.
Close your
Ben
eyes
Johnson
and you think of what the 2025 season was of like if I had to explain everything that happens, the Bears have to be in that conversation of the
that's
whole
fair.
year of just the craziness and their crazy comebacks with Caleb Williams and company. It has to be. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That
But
was
see, my
the fact that he
pushback.
got one vote was just, I
Yeah.
was like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that's real. My pushback is I feel the same about Liam Cohen and the Jaguars, though. Because this being his first year down there, it was similar buzz. It was similar, man. People question, was Trevor Lawrence even good enough? Or should you move on from that? And it's like, man, to see how he was having that offense, that team believe some of their comebacks, some of their, man, that team, they beat what? That team did. That was them, man. So I looked at Liam Cohen. I don't know how many votes did he receive. Any votes? Didn't Ben only got one vote. I'm like, did Liam get a vote at all? Ben got one vote.
Yeah.
Jeez.
These voters.
I mean, without Travis Hunter too, the player that they traded all that draft capital
or Brian
for.
Thomas Jr. playing consistently good. Like at points, he was like, "Yo, are you out here?"
Jacksonville did so many interesting things this year, and I don't know if we'll ever talk about it unless they have the same year next year. Then people will kind of go back and be like, well, they kind of started this trend in the 2025 season. But I think Jacksonville, they lost in the first round, so we don't really get to see it as much. But gosh, they did some really amazing things this year from just improvement standpoint. New coach, the quarterback looked like he belonged. You go down like all these players, you're losing all these players, and it doesn't even look like it. I mean, they had a great season this year, and I don't know if they can build on it or what it's going to look like because this league is season to season. But man, I thought Jacksonville, they just did some really great things. The fact that they're even mentioned in some of these things tells you like where they're going. Maybe.
Look, potentially a good trajectory over there, man. Potentially,
maybe. You just never know.
Now I gotta ask, since we do have a vested interest in this one, how did we feel about Myles Garrett unanimous defensive player of the year?
You have to.
That's in the division.
Here's how I think about that. And Steelers fans, I understand, aren't fond of the Cleveland Browns organization. I get that. I think about they traded away Joe Flacco. They started Dylan Gabriel. They then went to Shedeur Sanders. So by that point in the season, I know he's a Pro Bowler, we joke about that, but your third string quarterback and how bad the Browns were this year. And when you get into game situations where teams have leads on the Browns and Garrett still breaks the single season sack record, it's not like the offense is putting up a ton of points and you're up multiple scores and the other team has to pass the football. So in terms of the styles of play and Garrett still breaks that record, to me, you got to give it to him in that scenario. And I say that considering that this is a Steelers-based show as well. That's just my 2 cents worth.
I love pass rushers, okay? Regardless of who they play for, I love all of them. And especially the ones that are butt kickers. And it's like, yo, Myles Garrett is a butt kicker, man. Regardless of how you may personally feel about him, there is a short list of people that have done what he has done. And when you throw in the speed in which he has done it, it's like, yo, this dude is a special player. And Mark, you hit it on the head, man. They trailed in a ton of games. They had a bad offensive situation. So it makes it that much more challenging because you don't get as many opportunities. So you almost have to be perfect in order to maximize every single chance. And remember, there was a point in time where he could have broke this record with extra games to spare. It just became, all right, we're clearly seeing teams take an intentional effort to make sure that he doesn't make it. And we all kind of reacted after that Bills game, after our game with them. And it was like, all right, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. But yeah, we can also see this what's going on as well. And for him to still find a way, that is big time kudos from a pass rusher, man, from a dude that I remember watching Michael Strahan break that record and being like, wow, this is awesome, to watching TJ Watt tie the record, saying, wow, this is awesome, to now seeing Myles Garrett break the record. It's like, dude, wow, this is awesome. Like, just that part of me just loves to see the evolution of it. And now I'm like, yo, who's going to be the next guy? Maybe Myles comes back and pushes that number higher. Or does TJ have a resurgence? Maybe it's Michael Parsons. We don't know. Could it be Mad Max Crosby? It's so many different Danielle Hunters, the Will Anderson. I'm like, yo, I just love where we are as pass rushers right now, man.
Yeah. I love that too. That yeah, I mean, listen, he broke the record. I mean, shout out to that man.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say? I mean, what do you actually say? And physically, he's a superhero. Like,
Yeah.
he just has it all. I mean, he
Put
has
him in the
size
new
and
Marvels
speed. He has,
and the Avengers.
yeah, he's definitely an Avenger. I mean, shout out to Myles Garrett. I mean, no matter what I think about the Cleveland Browns and all that, I can set that aside to recognize greatness. And he's a great player. And kudos to him for winning the award.
The size and speed, TaNeisha, to your point, he's one of those players where, like, if he didn't play without pads, I don't think a whole lot would even change. Like, he's that.
Yeah, he's just, yeah.
Mhm.
And sometimes you just have to give it up to people, you know? I mean, shout out to you. He's just physically, yeah. I mean, he does. He looks like an Avenger.
I remember a few years ago when he was doing, in basketball, you see this all the time, the Euro step. When he Euro stepped an offensive line, then I was just like, yo, man, this is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's, you know, what's funny, this is so random, but last night when one of those times the Seahawks, the guy was running down the field and he was able to turn and hit the ball out and they got the ball at like the 5 or whatever. Watching that man run full speed down the field and then be able to turn his body, be in control of his body and just hit the ball and make it look like this is like on the playground. I was like, these guys are just different. Like, and it was so basic. And I was just like, I just don't think we appreciate the athleticism of football players sometimes because they're in all the pads and we can't really see their faces. But like, there's just little plays that get made from time to time. The guy walking back the offensive lineman right into Drake May, it's just like that's insane. Like that. It's like what, 300 pounds, and he's just pushing him back into his own quarterback. Like, there's just so many plays last night where I'm just looking and I'm like, these guys, this is not normal. This is not normal. The people that you go see in your neighborhood cannot do this. This is not normal. Like, this is just not normal. And we just watch it like it is. I mean, even like completely getting the football, stopping on a football field and then picking it up and running in a different direction. These things are not normal, but we're just watching them and we're like, oh, what a great play. I'm like, that was tremendous. Like Gonzalez's plays where he's just like, he's kind of beat a little bit, but he gets his footing and he is able to knock down the ball. I just sometimes don't think we appreciate the athleticism that happens on a football field. We do it in basketball and we do it in baseball because they can run and make great catches and do all these great things. But man, these guys are just so talented. I'm like, oh my gosh. And insert Myles Garrett. Like, what? How do we even create humans that look like that? Like, was he created in a lab? Like, what are we doing? Anyway, so just like, yeah, last night there's just a couple of plays where I was like, what an amazing play. Just amazing. So we just chalk it up as like, oh, he's good. And I'm like, no, he's fantastic. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
You're way too casual about this. Yep.
Both of you have mentioned Christian Gonzalez. I remember when he was coming out of Oregon in the draft, and it just popped off on the tape. I mean, he had a freak show combine performance, broad jump 40, all of that. But then, because there's some players where they'll do that in a cutoff and shorts and underwear Olympics and all of that, and it's one thing. But with him, it popped off the tape. Patriots would not have been where they were this season without his efforts. And you saw that, like, at least for a good stretch of the game last night where some of the plays he was able to make kept New England in it. I mean, it was still an outside. It was still a puncher's chance. But his athleticism, I mean, that to me was one thing that really stuck out because, like, if not for his efforts, we're talking about Darnold connecting on a few more throws, maybe one or two more throws, and it being a way more lopsided score. But he's one of those people I think of when you're talking about that raw athleticism that to me sticks out, and it's like consistently I see it on tape with him as well.
Nah, I would agree, man. I would agree. Y'all see, shout out to yo. All right, shout out to yo. Look, sometimes y'all say it, so well, I ain't even got to say it. So that's what I like. That's what I like.
That's remarkable.
No.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I don't know. Excuse my manners. Arthur Moats, you also are one of those guys that are hella athletic whenever you watch certain things. And you're just like, how can you actually physically do that? So I forgot that Mark opened the door for me last week for me to be able to say these things on this show. So also, shout out to you for all the amazing freakishly athletic things that you've been able to do that could only dream of in a dream that I could ever do, because it's a remarkable, even just making a tackle. I'm like, how in the hell, like how is this happening? So shout out to you too, sir. Steelers legend in the building. My bad.
I'm sorry that it took me. All I gotta say, Arthur, I'll be succinct. My bad. 5'5".
Exactly. Yeah. My bad, Mark. What are we doing? We forgot who was up there with us on this panel. So shout out to you also.
We were supposed to be getting to the wind down portion where I say, hey guys, Mark, do you have a half bake or do you have a final thought? That's what we're going to. None of this nonsense that she's talking about over there, okay? We're not doing it. Okay?
Kudos to you, Steelers legend.
No.
TaNeisha,
the guys you saw are athletic, okay?
Do you notice how uncomfortable this makes, Arthur? I love it.
Yeah, this isn't cool, man. All right. Hey, let's stay focused. We're staying focused.
Hey, I'm sure. Listen,
you're funny.
Shout out to you too. Okay, you're included in the NFL players being amazingly, freakishly athletic. It's tremendous. It is absolutely tremendous. So shout out to you too. Well, go ahead, Mark. Do you have your half baked?
No, nothing really came to me half baked last night. I mean, the Steelers beating the Patriots was like percolating in the back of my brain last night, but it's just like, I do think New England got better and better as the season went along. And remember, in that game against Pittsburgh, it was a 5-1 turnover differential. And we saw the turnover differential in Seattle's favor last night with New England, but nothing too crazy. Honestly, to me, it was just like, I'd said it earlier and I kind of wasted what my half-baked idea was I would put the Rams over the Patriots, but I would really need to think about how many other NFC teams I would have taken over the Patriots or whoever the AFC representative was, is just how the AFC played out this year. Again, we can go to all the quarterbacks that didn't make it. If Bo Nix stays healthy, I really think that they would have beaten New England in the AFC Championship game. So it's like that's kind of going on in the back of my mind. And I also think that's going on in the back of my mind because the game was never really all that close last night, which, sometimes that happens in the Super Bowl.
I think for me, the only NFC teams that probably the Panthers, no. Probably the Green Bay Packers, no. But I mean, the Bears, the way they played the Rams,
maybe.
I mean, the Bears.
That's the first one where I say maybe. The Packers and
then the 49ers also had moments. I don't know what 49ers
they were so injured. They were so injured. So
yeah, they had moments, and maybe that's what ultimately did them in. But I mean, I think the Rams so that's my opinion on just other NFC teams. Now that I've thought about who else made it, because the Packers were also wounded animals headed into the playoffs. So I forgot. Sometimes I forget about who was always also in the.
Well, it's the week. It's because we've got the full week between the conference championship games and the Super Bowls, where it's like a hard reset. And then, I mean, the Super Bowl takes so long. Here's my half-baked idea. This just came to me.
There it is.
I love it.
I was thinking about this because a few weeks ago, we also had the national championship on a Monday night. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually do believe this half-baked idea. Can we put the Super Bowl on a Saturday? We could all have the day to recover on Sunday. I would say the same thing about the national championship game. The fact that it's on a Monday night, then we have to go into Tuesday all groggy and exhausted. Put these primetime games on Saturday, and then we could have a full day of rest and recovery and not have to worry about going to work on the Monday. That's my half-baked idea. Put Super Bowl on a Saturday. Maybe I'm crazy.
Mark, we don't speak blasphemous on this show, man. Sunday is for two things: the Lord and for football. Okay.
All right.
Lord, football. Wake up. Thank you, Jesus, waking me up. Mouthpiece, football. You don't take the most important game, the game that we have waited our whole lives for, the game that we get excited for every single year. When the new league year starts in about 3 weeks, Mark, we're all excited for the hope of what? To make it to Super Bowl Saturday? No. Super Bowl Monday night. It's only one day. Only one day, and that's Super Bowl Sunday, baby. They take the Super Bowl off a Sunday. Now, I personally enjoyed that West Coast start because it made it nice and early-ish on our side. It was kind of refreshing to be done with the Super Bowl and to be like, oh, it's just 9:30, 9:10 o'clock. I can work with that. Them East Coast Super Bowls was like, yo, bro, hey, bro, it's about midnight, man. I don't want to talk no more. I just want to go home. All right, I don't want to talk. I want to have fun. So I like that, but it has to be on Sunday. Now, that college one, I'm with you. College, man, you can move that around. I personally would like it on Saturday. I don't think you got to wait 3-4 weeks either as long as they wait. I'm like, yo, you could have done that about 2 weeks ago, personally. But Sunday for Super Bowl. This is me.
Spoiler alert, the college football game now will have 2 weeks. College football playoffs will now have 2 weeks in between each conference. So I think they're scheduled to finish in like last week of like January now. They're pushing
it's like,
it.
Come on, man. What you doing?
It's terrible. The only issue with having the college game on a Saturday is the NFL playoffs are already happening on that Saturday. I think that's why they make it. I think don't even get me started on college football. I think college football needs to bump up everything. I think it needs to be over by the time the NFL playoffs start. I don't understand why you want the college football playoffs happening. Why the NFL playoffs are like, what are we doing? The college football schedule is my most annoying thing right now. So I'm not even gonna get started on that tangent. And so they can't move it because they're playing. It's all out of whack. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what they're doing there.
Well, I think maybe my half-baked idea landed with college, maybe not the Super Bowl, but this is also as someone who's lived as an adult on Eastern time since I've graduated college. I will say this definitively. Eastern time for primetime sports, it's the most brutal of the 4 time zones. It's just absolutely like today I'm just like, why am I going through the motions? I got to wake up. And it's like, Arthur, I appreciate you having juice right off the top of the show to wake me up. I'm like, man, I got to bring some energy to this show today. I mean, and it's like, well, why am I dragging? It's like, well, the Super Bowl went late last night. So, and it wasn't even like that late. Baby.
Yo, that's real, man. That is real. And trust me, guys, I'm not a morning person in the least bit. All right. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, but you're a Steelers legend.
We're not doing this. So, anywho, I am not. No, we're just gonna go right past that. All right. So, ladies and gents, since I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, you know what? Y'all been up here. I've had y'all for a while now. I don't want y'all to get disgruntled and be upset with me and they don't want to come back and then we can't do this again next week. All right. So, to respectful of everyone's time. Final words. Do we have any final words? And we're going to start with, since the Winter Olympics is still activated, Mark, I'm going with you today, baby. All right. They going down them ski slaloms. I'm like, yo, Mark, where's your goggles at, man? I was envisioning you out there. All right.
Yeah. The Winter Olympics are going to be fun. Nothing is like football, though. It's the conclusion of another season. I always get super sad. No, we've got the Winter Olympics, and then March Madness will ramp up, get spring training, start a baseball, hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs. It's not football. And I would say with the new league year starting, as we get closer and closer to the combine, you've got, the Senior Bowl, you've got a lot of these college football all-star games. I'm excited to see what the teams can do in advance of the draft because remember, the 2026 NFL draft is going to be in the 412 in the city of Pittsburgh. So there's a lot to look forward to, what teams can do to try to go from worst to first, which is what the Patriots just did. And to see, from the Steelers standpoint, what can you do to position yourself to try to go after that 7th Lombardi? So that's what I'm looking at. I'm bummed. We'll have to wait a few weeks. But once we really start getting to talk about pro days and the NFL Combine, we get into draft coverage, it starts
free agency
all over again. So give it a few weeks and enjoy that time off between now and the end of the league year and everything with football. But it'll be back before we know it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I love this time of the year. And don't get me wrong, I want to see football games. Absolutely. I'm also just a lover of college football. So this transition for me is always so fun because I'm able to see I'm able to see those guys transition. And then I'm also able to watch my team. And then also my college football team is getting geared up. So for me, this is the time where I get to take a deep breath, but also I get to see how it's built. And I love that. I love the process of the building. And that is what we're in. We're in building season. And I love that. And I now get to see, are the Steelers going to get a wide receiver too? Now I get to, now all of those questions. Yes, now all of those questions, right? We're on the clock, right? And so now it's all right, free agency is going to start soon. Who is going to be our wide receiver two? How are we going to build this team? What is it going to look like? How is it going to feel? Is Aaron Rodgers coming back? What's the structure? Now let's get ready for the draft. Let's watch the comp. I love all of this. Give me all of this, because this time is why I enjoy the season, because I feel like this time you're able to kind of say, okay, he went where? Okay, he went where? And then when the season starts, it's picking it back up. So for me, this is foundation time for me. And my family and friends are like, football's over for you. I'm like, yeah, I know. Give me 2 weeks. I'll be right back in it. Now I'm who's coming out? I know all the things. And so for me, or if this is your time where you're find something to cling on to in this off season, whether it's a player, whether it's watching somebody develop, whether it's watching how they're going to try to dirty up these players and all the articles that are going to start coming out because the NFL has to NFL. And so let's just pay attention to all the things that are going on and have fun, doing your mock drafts and figuring out where guys are going to go and watch those senior bowls and watch those college athletes and all those things. And just remember, just because a guy is not playing in the Senior Bowl or not playing in some of those games, some of the best of the best of the best don't play in those things. So you might not see everybody, and that is okay. But enjoy it, because we have to. Football's over. It's over. It's done. There's nothing we can do at this point, but enjoy it. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit weird in that way that I like this time, but I just like the development. This is where teams are built. This is where it starts. The random free agent guy that you got at 2 a.m. in the morning that nobody saw coming, and it's a random tackle. And you're like, oh my God, and our offensive line is good, right? I just love all of this because this is the fun for me. So anyways, that's how I feel.
There it is. Well, y'all heard it here. Y'all already know what it is. So you know the drill. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, notification bell as well. And let us know how y'all felt about that running back convo as well too. All right. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay safe. And until next time, baby. Peace.
Bye.